Hey, I'd like to share with you how we added the new Lego Natural History Museum to our city, as well as how we added a third floor to that museum to be able to carry that much more of exhibits within the building. So let's begin. Here we have the Lego Natural History Museum, set number 10326. It just released on December 1st of 23, and this build is probably one of the coolest modulars that have come out. I want to go ahead and show you some of the really awesome features and a couple of the little Easter eggs that are found in this set so that you can make a better decision whether or not this set is for you and your Lego city. When you look at this set from the street view, it has pretty cool curb appeal as far as the sidewalk in the front, as well as these two statues kind of out in a little bit of a garden out front of the building. And of course, a birch tree with some of these little blooming flowers on it. It really looks well in the city, and as we get ready to blend it into the city later, we'll kind of point that out. As you look at this build, let's start from the top and work our way down. The roof piece has a glass skylight, as well as in the upstairs, it has this office for the curator inside. One thing I don't like about the office is the way that it's laid out with the chair. It's just so tight that he barely fits in there. And I think eventually I'm going to have to modify this to make a little bit more room. But it's got some great little detail in there, as you can see. Some books, a little typewriter, even a little plant under glass. So not that bad of an office. The fact that they hid it up here on the roof is a little annoying, but you know, it is what it is. And when you look over here, it has this nice little window washer hanging off the side, and he hangs down over the windows on the building. So it adds like just a feel of activity to the outside of the building. Now this next floor I modified to convert it. It used to be all space themed here, but I moved all of that into the third floor, which I'll show at the end, that I added to this building. As you can tell, it's designed so that the dinosaur head can actually stick through the second floor, so that's kind of a neat feature that you would see in the more modern museum. And this area here I set up to be like the age of exploration, and you have medieval times on this side and Egyptian in the center to try and tie some more of the Lego themes together. So as you look at the first floor of the build, this is what Lego designed it to be. Over here is a full dinosaur, as well as it has a head of another, more like a saber-toothed tiger or something. And then in the middle, you have your kind of a gift shop and the front desk. On the left, they added this scene here of a broken pot, as well as a couple of full-size pots to show, like, you know, maybe a kid accidentally broke that pot. And on this side, they have a volcano and like a journey to the center of the earth breakout. It has this little research lab, as well as a bathroom. For some reason, a lot of the modulars have this fascination with bathrooms. This build is really easy to open and close and put the pieces together the way that the modulars were designed. The top and the pillars just really overlap each other. As I put the museum back together, I want to show how clean and simple it is to reassemble the modular and explain that this set was actually a really awesome set to build. It had a lot of fun pieces, and it brings quite the character with its own design. One of the concerns I have with it as a city builder is that my entire city is based on the 32 by 32 base plate. When you look at a 32 by 32 base plate, all of my city blocks are either one base plate or two base plates. But this building is 1.5 base plates. So trying to fit it in the city with other modulars and keeping my road alignment is going to be quite a challenge. Something I try and tackle as we continue. But another thing I noticed with this build that it didn't sit right with me is only being 2 stories, it didn't have all of the departments that I would like to see in a Lego museum. missing some of the other themes within Lego that I think are iconic to Lego itself. I decided to add a third story to the museum. And although my third story is still a work in progress, you can see I added the lunar lander from the Saturn V rocket set, as well as an astronaut helmet. I moved the space symbol that was on the second floor up to the third floor, as well as the whole solar system design. And then on this side, I'm working on exactly how to do it, but I want to make a tribute to the Lego superheroes. And so I had an extra Captain America and Spider-Man that I put in here. Eventually, I'd like to try and get a few more of the Avengers and make it look kind of like a Hall of Heroes tribute, like what you would see in the Avengers movie. But overall, for now, just having a third floor to try and increase the height of the building was a major goal so that this would fit a little bit better within my skyline. So the way that it moves is pretty clean and simple. You can take the roof off, and I designed the roof to snap right on the main floor. And then the front awning here clips on with just a pair of claws that will grab onto these bars. And so as you can see on my third floor, I built in the same hooks to be able to clip this awning on one level lower. I can tell you, trying to hook these hooks with the camera between my arms was a lot harder than I thought it would be. Once you get it hooked on there, it holds on nice and clean and allows it to snap right into the upper level. And then I built this little piece just out of spare bits and pieces I had laying around with the ability to just clip this right on over the hooks from the roof. That way I'm able to very quickly and easily convert this building from a 2-story building to a 3-story building. Or if for some reason I need to bring it back down to 2 stories for a video, I can bring it down to the Lego design 2 stories without really affecting the design at all. As you look, the 3 stories just gives it a more grand feel from the outside without taking away from the overall design of the building itself. So part of the mess with the city, as you can tell, the kids have had a lot of fun building and throwing things, and I needed some space to put pieces of my old museum as well as some other tools I'm working on. But looking at the city, because of that 1.5 base plate foundation, I didn't want to take up an entire block because I'd have to figure out what to do with that other half a base plate. So I had to kind of tear apart the city conceptually and come up with an idea. And what I came up with was putting the museum back over here next to the temple. So that would be right off of my grand park over here. And it would give me the ability to build a little bit of an outdoor museum space, which I'll show you here in a second. So as you can see, once I got the museum in, it fit really well on this back wall for the skyline. But I'll bring the camera over for a closer look. Looking at this park space, you can see that I wanted to incorporate some of the other historic museum type pieces that I had within my collection, as well as things that Lego's come out with. So I added Rexy from the Lego Ideas set. It's kind of a big figure piece to attract everyone to the museum. They're tying him in with the go back in time portion was probably a good idea, as well as connecting him with the overall breakout for the whole park. And then I had some Egyptian pieces from the old Adventurers set left over that I decided to make just a little outdoor sarcophagus and pillars, again, just to tie in some of that Egyptian theme from inside into the park. I also included the 40th anniversary train locomotive set so that this will be part of the display in the park. And if you've ever been to a train museum, they literally have locomotives just like this sitting outside. So why not include some of that train theming with my museum? Lego is such a part of our family, but it's also something we use as a tool to teach the kids some of our history, some of our church history, as well as just an overall history of the world. And so just like we have the temple on the right side, we have this Lego Liberty Jail on the left, which shows what the Liberty Jail looked like inside, with the prison cell down below and the guards bay above. And this little Liberty Jail, why not keep it somewhere part of the museum, as if it would be a place that the patrons of the city can go and visit, just like you can actually visit it in Liberty, Missouri. As well as over here, I have a handcart that's part of a display that to show what handcarts look like. Overall, this park out here has a lot of work left to do. But I think when you look at the city as a whole, it really begins to connect the dots to what that look down Main Street would look like. To bring you down to Lego figure level, this is kind of what your street view would look like on the street. Someone who would walk up to the park and walk in between the two hedges and kind of walk around the exhibits outside before they go into the building. But you can also look straight down the city street and see that Rex will be a prominent view from the lateral coming down the street from the other direction. Here, to show what it looks like coming down the street from the Daily Bugle side, you can see the Rex standing out above the tree line, which was kind of the goal. And as you come closer, you can see that there's an entrance down the park to take you right into the museum. Or as you zoom out, it's just a part of the view from this side of the city, tying in my Chinese garden MOC with the main park and the fair and the museum, making just a grand downtown area as an open public space for all the Lego figures to hang out and to have parties. Hey, thank you for being with me and going through my city and seeing how we added the Lego Natural History Museum to my Lego city. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And I would really appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to help us get the traction we need to continue to share more of our Lego city with the world. Thank you. Have a great one.